So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our 2020 Jupiter Transit Retrograde video. And this video specifically is going to cover and talk about when Jupiter will start retrograding, literally from May 15th to September 18th. It's going to go into Capricorn, and then by June it'll start retrograding back into Sagittarius. Then after September 18th, it'll start going direct in Sagittarius, and obviously finally progressing towards Capricorn. And also my course is finally open. Planets through Nakshatras is open. You can check out the links below, or just check out the links here in the shop section. At the very bottom is a link to my academy, along with the astrological report, consultations, and books, so you can find out where exactly Jupiter is transiting in your chart. Okay, so yeah, excited about this course. It's gonna be sweet, simple, quick. Okay, so anyway, let's get started with this beautiful transit video. So if you remember from my previous video of Saturn retrograde this year, one thing I spoke about is that when a planet is retrograding, okay, it will empower the opposite nakshatra, the opposite sign, more than any other, situation when it's retrograding. And this is something I've observed. It's not in any book. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't read books anymore. If I don't get something through observational astrology, I don't really care to know as much. Still want to know. But observational astrology is so beautiful. So as I said, that when a planet retrogrades, regardless of if it's Jupiter, Mercury, Saturn, when they're retrograding, the opposite nakshatra becomes suddenly dominantly active. So Jupiter is pretty much going to be in the sign of Capricorn and Sagittarius, where the nakshatra of Uttra Ashada, takes place. And opposite to Jupiter will also be the zodiac sign of Cancer and Gemini, which means Pushya and Punarvasu will be strongly activated depending upon which degree Jupiter is at. So when Jupiter is at 3 degrees and 19 arc minutes of Capricorn, it's really going to activate Punarvasu Nakshatra, while even when it goes back into Sagittarius. And if it's beyond 3 degrees and 20 minutes in Capricorn, it'll be it'll be affecting the opposite nakshatra of Pushya. And this is one particular effect that we're already seeing right now. And I already said that back in, I believe, December or November end, when I made the video of their both transit of Jupiter and Saturn, is that whenever wars happen, the number one planet you need to think of is Jupiter. Second planet you need to think of is Mars. Rarely will you see that Saturn is trying to cause wars. Everybody just jumps to thinking that because Saturn is the most malefic, it's the reason behind wars happening. It is actually Jupiter. And this is the last thing that someone will think about. Oh, Jupiter is supposed to be a preacher and a guru. And Jupiter, you got to realize, Guru is one part of the significance of Jupiter. Jupiter represents fat and sweets. When Jupiter has a Hamsa Yoga in the birth chart, Jupiter goes after other women, goes after married women when Jupiter is a Hamsa Yoga. So it's not like Jupiter is a guru. Jupiter has different branches that it represents. And one of the branches is fatalistic thinking, dogmatic thinking. And it especially happens when the opposite nakshatra of Pushya and Punarvasu are becoming activated. Because Pushya is about being a patriot. Pushya nakshatra, with Jupiter, a person becomes very patriotic about their country, about their land, about their religious beliefs. Because it is Brihaspati. It is the guru of the gods. So in this particular case, and then especially when Jupiter moves into Punarvasu, when it's retrograding, this is where most morons in the world, or anybody who's a moron, every single moron will think that they're Sri Ram. They're going to think they're Sri Ram, and they're going to save their people. And the way they're going to save their people is that one is going to burn a mosque, one is going to burn a temple, one is going to burn a gurdwara. These are the morons we are living amongst. And they truly don't even get it, what they're doing. Do you know? And I hope none of you who are watching have participated in any of these destruction of religious places, because you will have to come, to take a rebirth when you destroy some religious place, when you burn it down. So it doesn't matter if it's mosque, doesn't matter if it's, a gurdwara or a temple. When you destroy that, you better be ready to pay. That's it. That's all I'm going to say regarding these things. So when Jupiter is retrograding, boy, the belief system, oh my God, how did you attack my belief? How did you attack my religion? That's it. Now I'm going to have to rise up like Sri Ram, and I'm going to have to destroy you as the Ravan, when they don't realize they're the Ravan themselves, because it is retrograde. Jupiter is retrograde. When a planet is retrograde in the sky, not in the birth chart, in the sky, it becomes, number one, helpless. It's not able to protect the significance of itself and the houses that it rules. So if Jupiter is supposed to bring, let's say one of the biggest branches of Jupiter is righteousness, being religious, God-fearing, okay? And it's following a Sanatanan Dharma path. When it's retrograde, all of that is just mashed in and becomes like a cluster mess. Although I wanted to use another colorful word, but I see a lot of kids watch me, so I gotta watch out for that. So yeah, when Jupiter is retrograde, it's like an amateur person becoming a guru with a sword. So these things will like really become very heavy throughout the world. The country leaders will start arguing with each other about why their side of the world is better than their side, why their political rules and laws are much better than theirs. And especially because Uttara Ashada, where Jupiter is going to be, naturally represents war and victory. See, Purva Ashada, where Jupiter is in right now, I believe, represents planning for the war. This is why it represents strategies, strategically looking at things. Like especially with Purva Ashada, you will see a lot of people working for companies like BCG, McKinsey and Company, Bain and Company. In Uttara Ashada, it's like, okay, we planned it, now let's fight. So even though Uttara Ashada represents later victory, it really represents start of the war. Especially around 9th degree onwards of Uttara Ashada is really that start of the war. I'm not saying that war is going to start. I really haven't looked that deep with other planets. But I'm just telling you what Jupiter is going to do in your personal and economical side of life. And again, with Jupiter, if controlling or affecting the nakshatra of Punarvasu, directly opposite, which is going to become heavy, considerably heavy, a lot of people, you will notice, will have to visit temples over and over again. They'll start rereading some religious book that they put out for a long time. Somebody will go on a pilgrimage, and then they'll realize they have to go back again. So there will be a lot of these back and forth related to, and especially with education. So during Jupiter retrograde, whomever is trying to fill out an application for bachelor's degree, master's degree, anywhere in the world, and especially if Jupiter is transiting or affecting your ascendant by being in the 1st, 5th, or 9th house, you will see this Jupiter will make you'll have to refile that application again. Perhaps you forgot to put signatures on. You forgot to put that little dot and mark that they asked. And they're like, nope, rejected. You got to fill it out again. So those things will happen again. And especially in Jupiter, particular retrograde, a lot of people enjoy weaponry, archery. Like a lot of people feel like, oh, I need to learn some kind of a combat, some kind of a fighting ability. Because you have to understand deeper perspective of Jupiter, Saturn, Moon, Sun. They're not just this basic thing that we think. If you look deep into Jupiter, Jupiter is the one who's the advisor of war. Jupiter is the one who teaches what to do and where to do and how to win this war, how to win this fight. It wasn't some soldier teaching the Pandavas how to shoot an arrow. It was a divine, highly realized master and a guru who was teaching them. So many people kind of like, facetiously misconstrued the meaning of the planets, or they just don't, nobody wants to even go deeper into what they really mean. But yes, this is something, especially in the countries like India, Middle East, where there's a lot of chaos and wars happening. When Jupiter retrogrades, it will intensify. It will intensify. One of the great remedies for even Jupiter or Saturn, two things. Number one, if your teeth are not clean, if there's pain in the teeth, pain in your tooth, take care of that right away. When you take care of your teeth, the transit itself starts improving for you individually. That's number one. Number two, I will also recommend is to have a statue or painting of an elephant in your home, especially on the west wall, southwest wall. Those are the proper places to put things which represents this heaviness, because in the west wall we also put mountains. So you want to have elephant, but make sure that the trunk of the elephant is raised high. It shouldn't be down. And if it's down, usually it should curve to somewhere else, but the most easiest thing is get the elephant whose trunk is raised up. And that itself will become a great benefit towards handling and dealing with the battles that you or every one of us will run into in this particular transit. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Jupiter retrograde this year. And especially don't forget the Saturn retrograde video that I made just 3-4 days ago. And also my course, which is now open at this link here. Otherwise, we'll see you later with our weekly regular videos. Bye-bye.